It's Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Disruptive FM. Welcome to Disruptive FM, where business and culture collide. Sponsored by Microsoft and Branding Strategy Insider. With your host, Jeffrey Colon.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's another episode of Disruptive FM, number 15, for the week ending Friday, the 17th of August, 2018. Welcome. I'm Jeffrey Colon, your host for the next quarter hour as we dive into the culture of business and check what's happening in marketing, media, tech, and popular culture. Turn it up to 11.
Here are this week's trending topics. Doing it live.
Every year there seems to be more thought pieces on how digital is taking over our lives. And one would think that this type of insight that we all would just be logged onto our devices 24/7, move out to the middle of nowhere, and never ever connect with anyone in real life. But what's happening as digital is getting more saturated is it's having what I called in my book, Disruptive Marketing, a post-digital effect. As more people are online, true connections are happening in real life, or what we call offline. Yes, in-person live connection is becoming a more unique way for people to truly build relationships. In fact, one app called Coffee Break rates who you have met online with higher points if you connect with them in real life. For event organizers, this means more people are lining up to attend their events. And one of those events that we here at DFM think you should put on your calendar as a must-attend is an event called Worlds. The event, based in Los Angeles, is in its third year and is taking place this October. What sets Worlds apart from other events is that it fosters this type of let's get off of our phones and computers and change the world type of environment. Worlds doesn't just host keynotes with people talking down to you, but educational seminars that bring you along as a partner. But don't take our word for it. Take Roman Sunder's word for it. Roman built Worlds and spoke to us about how this event is trying to change how we connect in real life with others. So every event has to pivot to its model. Here's Roman's point of view on where events are headed from a chat we had last week via Skype.
Our job with every single touch point that you have is to be better than anybody else so we can be of service to you or be totally different than what else is out there. So just to give you an idea, most events that you might go to, they might have like 10 keynote speakers, like headliners, and then you have like 1,000 just like random uncurated individuals, right? We have 350 of like the bleeding edge brands, whether it's Apple or whether it's Spotify or whether it's Red Bull. And we'll have this year up to 3,000 members, participants. So just do the math. It's one master for every like 9 participants in the room. So like every single person that goes to Worlds, and I'm sure you experience this, has a lot of one-on-one time. And that's why we have Meet the Masters with several, if not a dozen of our World's Masters. Like they're everywhere. It's really simple. We're action-driven, we're action-oriented. So we've done the work over the last 10 years to curate the most influential minds and brands that'll teach you how to be better at your jobs and at your lives. And then 2, find your most important friendships and partnership opportunities that'll help scale your personal and your professional growth.
That was Roman Sunder, founder of Worlds, an annual event in Los Angeles, attracting the top names in marketing, media, tech, and popular culture, who joined me earlier in the week. Big thanks to Roman.
Trending topics on DFM. Twitter rules.
Last week, we spoke about how Alex Jones had been booted off Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much every place where you can host content. Well, except one of them. Yup, Twitter. But hold on. In late-breaking news, Twitter then moved ahead and ousted Jones for 1 week. Is this because of user backlash? Say it is so. Jack Dorsey is mulling deeper changes to the social media service that might limit the spread of fake news, misinformation, and hate speech. Twitter joined other prominent tech companies in muzzling Jones, the founder of the InfoWars site, who has used Twitter and other social outlets to spread false information. Twitter had resisted the move despite public pressure, but the holdout lasted less than 2 weeks. Dorsey had originally defended his company's decision not to ban Jones, tweeting that Jones hasn't violated our rules, but if he does, we'll enforce. We're going to hold Jones to the same standard we hold to every account, not taking one-off actions to make us feel good in the short term and adding fuel to new conspiracy theories. Dorsey tweeted on August 7th, after the other companies took action against Jones. The apparent change of heart reflects a Twitter still hanging on to its roots as a freewheeling Wild West of the internet, in an age where online worlds can have serious real-life consequences. Along with other social media companies, it is now grappling with how to enforce sometimes vague rules without appearing partisan, and while leaning toward promoting rather than curbing free speech. When deciding what the rules are and how to enforce them, especially when it comes to gray areas, Twitter is up against both conservatives and liberals claiming bias and feeling silenced. There are also users who often just want to post about their daily lives, and even against their own employees, be they free speech absolutists, or those who feel people like Jones do not deserve an online megaphone. The learning here is that platforms need to make a choice. They can't be objective anymore. They aren't the news. They're platform distribution pieces of technology. Heck, we watch cat videos on them. They cannot win because some constituency will be offended no matter what they do. So Twitter should do the right thing here. Get rid of the trolls, clean it up, and make it into the service it once was and could be again.
Trending topics on DFM. Not for sale.
You might be listening to this on your Amazon Alexa or other smart speaker. Kudos to you for doing so. You're using what these smart speakers are meant to do. You see, the tech and search platforms think smart speakers are the next frontiers for e-commerce. But that's not what they are being used for. They are the next frontiers for media. What's holding Amazon Echo back from becoming a full-fledged salesperson? This might be the wrong question to ask. Amazon has never positioned the Echo as a means of selling products. In fact, the voice assistant is increasingly developing into a media platform, not a commerce platform. This is according to Gartner's L2 report on the voice assistant. While Amazon has promoted Alexa's skills, the top-rated skills aren't owned by brands, but by publishers like BuzzFeed and CNN. The top 5 skills are currently run by Fox News, CNN, Major League Baseball, BBC, and the New York Times. To make the most of voice marketing, brands should be leveraging and expanding existing relationships with publishers or seek out new ones in their specialty to test out ad campaigns, or at least sponsorships. Not be worrying about voice search rankings or if people can find their brand on a speaker. This is why not all strategists are created equally.
It's Disruptive FM.
Communications.
The Business Culture Podcast.
They say if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of today.
It's Disruptive FM, the culture of business. I'm your host, Jeffrey Colon. In the background, that's new music from Ross from Friends. It's a track called The Beginning. That's from his new album, Family Portrait, out now on Brainfeeder Records. You can connect with us on Instagram or Twitter at Disruptive FM. Connect with me personally on Instagram or Twitter at DJGEOFFE. Also enable our Alexa skill. Open Disruptive FM for our weekly top 3 on the radar trends, top 10 music chart, top 5 book list, and the most current episode. Disruptive FM is brought to you by Microsoft and Branding Strategy Insider. For more in-depth analysis, check out Microsoft.com/stories and BrandingStrategyInsider.com. Also brought to you by iOgrapher. Create better video. At iOgrapher, they make accessories for your mobile device to help you make professional videos. Learn more about all the products we use at DFM to make our videos at iOgrapher.com.
And now, DFM presents... Do you even read, bro?
It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence.
Book reviews for disruptive minds.
There's a great book I encourage you all to read. I didn't agree with all of it, but it really made me think and ponder. Isn't that what a good book does? It's called Life After Google, The Fall of Big Data and the Rise of the Blockchain Economy. Why is this important? Well, here's my review. The age of Google, built on big data and machine intelligence, has been an awesome era, but is coming to an end. In Life After Google, author George Gilder, the peerless visionary of technology and culture, explains why Silicon Valley is suffering a nervous breakdown and what to expect as the post-Google age dawns. Google's astonishing ability to search and sort attracts the entire world to its search engine and countless other goodies. Videos, maps, email, calendars, and everything it offers is free, or so it seems. Instead of paying directly, users submit to advertising. The systems of aggregate and advertise works. Well, at least for a while. If you control an empire of data centers, but a market without prices strangles entrepreneurship and turns the internet into a wasteland of ads. The crisis is not just economic. Even as advances in artificial intelligence induce delusions of omnipotence and transcendence, Silicon Valley has pretty much given up on security. The internet firewalls supposedly protecting all those passwords and personal information have proved hopelessly permeable. The crisis cannot be solved within the current computer and network architecture. The future lies with the cryptocosm, the new architecture of the blockchain and its derivatives. Enabling cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ether, Neo, and Hashgraph, it will provide the internet a secure global payments system, ending the aggregate and advertise age of Google. Silicon Valley, long dominated by a few giants, faces a great unbundling, which will disperse computer power and commerce and transform the economy and the internet, pretty much in the hope we had looked for in the dawn of the commercial internet in the early 1990s. Gilder says Google's communications first philosophy sounds good and has served us well for many years. But in practice, free means insecure and unstable. Google's search service will continue, but its insidious system of the world, concludes Gilder, will be swept away. Check out Life After Google, The Fall of Big Data and the Rise of the Blockchain Economy. Available now where all good books are sold. Okay, time to take a look at some simmering stories that are starting to heat up. It's a segment we call On the Radar.
Here's what's on our radar. Number 1.
Americans own less stuff. Is America giving up on the idea of ownership? Well, according to Tyler Cohen, who's a Bloomberg opinion columnist, technological disruption could result in Americans just owning less physical stuff. He writes, quote, "Lately I've been worrying about a problem of the latter kind, the erosion of personal ownership and what that will mean for our loyalties to traditional American concepts of capitalism. What happens when a nation built on the concept of individual property ownership starts to give that up?" Well, we'll definitely dive deep in this on a future episode.
Number 2.
Food halls are booming. Yup, hipsters. Food halls are the next food trucks, with new locations springing up all over the country. It was noted that there were 70 food halls in the U.S. in 2015, but by 2017, that number had risen to 118. New York City alone has around 10 more planned or in development, and recently opened a virtual one. We're definitely going to tour that on a future episode. As food trucks face regulatory hurdles and rising gas prices, along with declining novelty, food halls have seemingly become the gourmet food lovers' new favorite hangout.
Number 3.
2 of the 4 public radio distributors in the U.S. are merging to harness the growing power of podcasts. PRX and PRI will combine operations and be based in Boston, Massachusetts. No money will change hands. PRI produces content for more than 700 public radio stations in the U.S., and PRX is the 3rd largest podcast publisher. Boston-based WGBH, which produces content for PRI and works with PRX on podcasts, said it will invest $10 million in new content and a production studio in this deal. Research shows the proportion of people listening to podcasts each month is growing, along with sponsorships for the digital broadcasts. All right, that will wrap up this 15th episode of DFM. Big thanks to Roman Sunder of Worlds for joining us. You can connect with us by following me on Twitter or Instagram at DJGEOFFE. Follow Disruptive FM on Twitter or Instagram at Disruptive FM. And you can read more in-depth content via our 3 sponsors, Microsoft.com/stories, BrandingStrategyInsider.com, and iographer.com. Next week, Yulia Laracheva, creative director of Dream Nation, talks to us about why venture capitalists not investing in female companies is leading to a less creative world. Oh yes, we are going there. All right, for everyone here at DFM, thanks for checking us out. We appreciate your time. I'm Jeffrey Colon, and we'll catch you next week.
You've been listening to Disruptive FM with Microsoft Communications designer Jeffrey Colon. All thoughts are his own. Disruptive FM is produced in Los Angeles by Feeler Media.